able to raise their hands to ask questions. Start with Chad Graff, followed by Mike Reese.
All right. Yeah, Stacy, I'll just start off with are we on here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Um, yeah, so in the end, after the game, we just. Yeah. Yeah, hang on. I'll just start out for a second and then we can open it up. Yeah, I just felt like after the Tennessee game, we had a little bit of time there in the locker room to just kind of look at the situation and made the decision that the best thing for the team would be to come back here and not go to Tennessee. And it was a hard decision, much as we'd like to work against them. Just try to balance the situation. There's a number of things involved, and so came back yesterday. Isaiah came back with us. It was good to see him. Had an opportunity to talk to him. He's alert and traveling with the team, so that was good. I thought that Dr. Martin, Dr. Corrado, Jim Whalen, they were obviously right on top of the situation and did a great job of handling it and taking care of Isaiah. Um, you know, he was able to be released after being in the hospital after the game and come back with us on the plane. So uh, obviously things checked out medically for him to be able to do that. Um, and so back here this week, last preseason game. A lot of things that we still need to work on. I thought we made progress. A lot of progress working against the Packers. Really appreciate the opportunity and the cooperation that we got from Coach LaFleur and the entire organization. Um, Joe on defense and Rich in the kicking game, and we got a lot of good quality work and helped our team, players, coaches, staff, everybody get better. We'll push ahead this week here and get out to Tennessee and finish up the preseason, and then start getting ready for the regular season. So still got a lot of work to do here. A lot of things that'll be happening in the next 7 or 8, whatever it is, days in terms of rosters and things like that. But that's what it is this time of year. So nothing new there. It's just imminent, and we'll get ready for it. Okay.
Questions for Coach Belichick? Raise your hand and turn your camera on. We're going to start with Chad Graff, followed by Mike Reese.
Bill, in a situation like Saturday night, as you're trying to figure out whether to suspend the game or not, I'm curious what your preference would be, kind of generally speaking. Is that something where you think the head coaches, because they know their team the best, should probably be the ones to make those decisions, or would you prefer that the league kind of steps in and has the final say, perhaps to, I don't know, keep things uniform?
Yeah, I don't think it really matters what I think. In the end, it's a league decision. So whatever they decide that's what it is.
Okay, question Mike Reese, followed by Chris Ryan.
Morning, Bill. You mentioned Dr. Martin, sort of, I guess you'd say was his first year sort of taken over, right, for Dr. Price. How significant is a transition like that when you switch doctors, when you're leading a football team? What does that entail? And how did this experience sort of highlight that?
All right. Well, Scott's been with us before. He's been with the Revolution for I don't know over a decade, so he's pretty familiar with. We're familiar with him. He's familiar with us, and but the fact that he's in charge and running things, I mean, he's been great. He's been great to work with. I think he's been at every practice, around all the time, and it's been very helpful in terms of educating me specifically, but working with Jim and our strength and conditioning staff, our training staff, and getting to know the players on an individual basis. He's put in a lot of time. He's done a great job, and look forward to work with him. And the medical situation here is good. We have a great hospital to work with and all that. But I just thought that those guys really, did a great job with handling the, a very serious situation quickly, efficiently, and with expertise that they all have.
And a quick football one, if that's all right. Saw Kendrick make a couple catches early in the game. Looked like he had a good block in the running game. How would you describe the type of off-season and camp, that Kendrick has had, sort of asking after watching him the other night where he showed up, it seemed like, a couple times?
Yeah, he had a good spring. That spring led into having a good training camp. He's done very well in all phases of the game. Just played multiple spots and caught the ball well, blocked well. He's had a good camp.
Chris Ryan, followed by Dan Roach.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Hey, Chris. Good morning.
Wanted to ask you first about kind of how attitudes have changed in regard to player injuries, where in the past obviously games would continue, and how pleased you've been in that realm, in that the environment's been created where there is more of a focus on player safety.
Yeah, well, I think that's the right way to go, the right emphasis. It's obviously a process. There's a lot involved, and the sport's the sport. It's a contact sport, so it's always going to be an element of collisions and contact. But try to make it as safe as possible. I think a lot of the rule changes have been beneficial. Blindside blocks, things like that. So I think everybody wants it to be as safe as possible and still maintain the part of the game, the speed, the contact, the skill, and that's the excitement of the game. And so it's just a balance there. But really, just trying to focus on coaching our team, getting our team ready to play, and those other decisions are not really, they're not mine to make.
A question on the game for a second. Mac's first preseason action. What have been the biggest areas of growth you've seen from him through camp, and what did you think of his performance on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought Mac did a solid job. Both quarterbacks did. Again, when you're out there with 10 other guys, no matter what position you play, there's an element of the team operation, and so quarterbacks, receivers, offensive line, protection, running backs, blocking, etc., and it all goes together. So the biggest part of growth for our team is just everybody working together and improving our timing. Not necessarily communication in terms of what to do, but just seeing things the same way so that we can react to them the same way, and that just comes through repetitions and a lot of snaps and some experience doing it. So, but Mac's done a good job in his role on that, but it's there's other things that he can't control. There's other people that he's out there with that they have to get used to him. He has to get used to them. We've worked some of these things together, but there's some new things we're doing that. And a couple new players, obviously, that there just takes a little bit of time to break in and get that timing and that I would say seeing it the same way down. Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
Second, Dan Roach, followed by Phil Perry.
Morning, Bill.
Hey, Dan.
Just a question about the canceling the practices. How does that, the joint practices, how does that change your week? How does that change your preparation for the regular season? Will it start to play more in game 3? What kind of adjustments do you have to make now with the practices being canceled?
Right. Well, we'll talk about that today, and we'll be on the field tomorrow. So, we really have 2 days this week. It's a shorter week, so we're going to practice tomorrow and Wednesday, and then head down to Tennessee on Thursday. So, we'll spend some time this morning, today, going through what we need the most, how to get the most out of these next 2 days, because it's really a kind of a 2-day, I would say, planning process rather than one. And figure out how to maximize Tuesday, how to maximize Wednesday. We kind of know what Thursday is going to look like, and today is going to be a day to review the film and kind of go back over the Green Bay game and even some of the things came up in practice, and then we'll be moving on. So we'll take the next today to figure out, what the priorities are. But we want to address the priorities the next 2 days. So that's what it'll be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, followed by Bob Christian. You're muted. We'll jump ahead of Bob so you come back to Phil.
Thanks, Dave. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bill, since the preseason started, you signed a couple of guys who have experience in the XFL or the USFL. I'm curious, what your impressions are in kind of the limited sample size since the spring leagues have been reintroduced to having the opportunity to sign players in the middle of training camp who played football fairly recently in those leagues and to bring them in.
All right. Well, most all those players, and I think you've probably seen it on the transactions, Bob, whether it's us or any other team. If you need depth at a certain position, generally what you see throughout the league is teams would, try out anywhere from 3 to 6, 7 players at that position, and it's pretty obvious that they're looking for somebody to play that spot, right? And a lot of those players don't have very much experience. Either they're, rookies, the first year players, or as you mentioned, are in another league. And so a lot of times those workouts, have an effect on the play, bring the player in at this time. Because if you bring in a player right now, he needs to be kind of ready to go. I mean, it's not like, you have time to have a month of training with them and all that. Like if you sign a player in February, that would be different. So I'd say the workout, the conditioning, the fact that it looks like the player is ready to go works in his favor in terms of signing a player in that situation. And so the players that are coming from that league probably have a little bit of an advantage in that they're in good condition. They've been playing their techniques or whatever at their position they've been working on and maybe are a little more proficient on those. And sometimes, after those workouts, the conversation is like somewhere along the lines of, well, this guy probably would be a better player or a better guy to work with, but he's just not in good condition. He's just not ready to go. This other guy's ready to go. He's in good shape. His fundamentals are pretty good. It's, again, we understand what the players are. They're available. So, but it gives them an opportunity to kind of, I would say, take the time and the skills that they've been doing in the spring, and as long as they've been continuing to work and stay on top of that, a lot of times they just look better than the other guys you're comparing them to. So I think it definitely, gives an advantage, and you can see the player on film recently. You have recent film of him, so you can, have some gauge of his, speed, athleticism, toughness, playmaking ability. Understanding it's a different level, but at least there's something to take a look at. So I'd say those guys, Farms is a good example last year, a guy that came in and was in good shape and played well, played hard, was productive, and his career is still continuing. And so that's, guys like that, they're able to take advantage of that opportunity. And so that's been good for players like that to get that extra shot. Yeah. Great question. Yeah. Thanks, Bob. Great question.
I'll try a final question. We'll try Phil Perry. If not, we'll go to Dakota Randall, but we'll make this the last one. Try again, Phil. Phil, I'm not hearing you. We'll go to Dakota Randall.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hey Bill, I thought J.J. Taylor looked really good the other night. Just wondering, what are the biggest areas of growth you've seen from him during his few years here, and what does he need to do to earn his spot on this team?
Yeah, with JJ, it's just gotten better every year. Works extremely hard. Very diligent guy. Had a couple good things in pass protection. Which with his size is always a little bit of a challenge. But I mean, he's a tough kid and strong for his size. And so that's an area that he's really growing in. Just in general in the passing game, I thought he did a good job. With the screens and some of the catch and run opportunities and Has always been a good ball carrier and physical runner for his size. I mean, he's not a little, he's short, but he's a thick, strong kid. And so, but his versatility, handling punts, playing on the kickoff team, playing on all three downs offensively. His versatility is, he wasn't able to do that 3 years ago. And so that's, his versatility, his overall skill in the passing game, both those have improved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everyone.